Quicksilver's back in the MCU, but not how anybody saw coming. Episode 5 of WandaVision saw the return of X-Men's Quicksilver, played by Evan Peters, instead of Aaron Taylor Johnson, who we got in Ultron. As awesome as it is to see this character back on the big screen, it raises a lot of questions. How is X-Men's Pietro now in the MCU? What's his role going to be in the show? And what does this mean for the MCU moving forward? All will be discussed in this All New Nerds discussion. Alright, Johnny, so Quicksilver back in the MCU. How is this possible? What do you think about it?
Well, first off, I love it, but what do I think about it? It's crazy. Not how I would have thought that they would try to bring in the Fox X-Men characters. Let alone, I didn't even think they would bring them in, but what do you know? We got Quicksilver. So there's a lot to this for the show's purpose. Like, his purpose in the show is pretty big, and also just like the MCU in general. Like, this is huge. We can literally pull from any movie, anytime, and drop it in the MCU. We know in Spider-Man 3 we're gonna get some characters from the other films that aren't obviously in the MCU. So it's pretty crazy, and this is really the beginning of the opening of the multiverse that'll be explored in later films and stuff. So I am so excited by this. Evan Peters' Quicksilver is my favorite Quicksilver. I liked him better than the Age of Ultron one, Aaron Taylor Johnson, and I love it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's just, I just keep asking, and I will get the answer eventually, but how is this possible? How does this make any sense? Like, there's definitely a reason they didn't use Aaron Taylor Johnson. Like, this is the X-Men universe Pietro, and we know that from the descriptive audio as well. But I don't know. There's just a lot of theories we can make as to how. It's likely that Wanda isn't controlling anything here for Pietro. We know this because, one, when she opened the door, she seemed surprised that this was possible. But she did seem to know that it was Pietro, even though it didn't look like her brother. She also did mention to Vision that she didn't start Westview. She just has control of things that go on. So we know that there is another hand in play. We've theorized a lot, but possibly Mephisto. Could be something with Agatha. And
Agnes, but
no, that's all.
Most likely
Agnes,
Agatha.
right?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, like, it's insane. I'm trying to like. So, all right, we'll start with this. So one thing, you said that Wanda didn't recognize him at first, but somehow, like, she knew it was Pietro, but like was still weirded out by it because it's not her version or the MCU version. It wasn't Angela Johnson. So
yeah, it was kind of hard to tell what was going on there, but yeah,
it brings up an interesting thing that I think is probably going to be explored. I'm going to try to explain it to the best of my ability, but I think there's something that I think they have a connection, even though they're from different universe. I think, yeah, I think there's still some sort of connection. That's why Wanda was like, "Oh, is this Pietro?" Even though it wasn't the one that she's known. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
She can almost just sort of sense that it's her brother.
Yeah, and I think that's gonna be a thing.
Same like soul or whatever. Yeah, I don't know.
I think that's gonna be a thing.
Yeah.
That we're gonna see in Spider-Man 3
I mean,
as well. With hopefully, if Andrew and Toby are in the movie, I think Tom's gonna be like, "Wait, you're me?" But like, it's gonna be weird. It's gonna be weird. It's gonna be weird to understand. But I think that's kind of the idea or the concept they're kind of setting up. So, yeah.
Well, we also saw another thing that backs up the fact that she didn't control this to happen is that before it happens in Sword, the alarms are blaring and they say that there's a breach in the hex, or that like something is interfering, and so that could be whatever placed this version of Quicksilver into Westview. You know, I just want to know why this Quicksilver and not Aaron Taylor Johnson, you know?
I think the easy answer is because he's dead, and we've had no evidence of Wanda or whoever else was controlling it actually reviving the dead. I think they purposely put this in for the dog, Sparky. He obviously died in episode 5, shortly after being introduced in the same episode. So I think that was there's something there, meaning that Wanda cannot bring back the dead, or maybe refuses to, or yeah. So that's why I think we don't have Aaron Taylor Johnson, and I think obviously it wasn't Pietro in the Fox X-Men universe being like, I'm just gonna jump over to a different multiverse because he doesn't have that ability.
Right.
It's someone had to pull him,
for sure.
And that's why I think it's not Wanda, it's whoever is the outside source. So one, it could be Agnes, because we don't know. I'm just gonna say, like, she's Agatha Harkness. Like, it's not unknown. It's gonna happen. That'll be revealed. I would not even be surprised if it was this week. Not be surprised. Anyways, but maybe she pulled him, or it's the big bad of this series, who a lot of people are saying is Mephisto, which would make sense, and all signs do lead to that. So I think it was either him too. So yeah,
for sure. So I'll throw this one to you to open us up, but what is the point of bringing Quicksilver back, or what's his role going to be in this show particularly?
Well, I think that Wanda has obviously lost a lot in the Infinity Saga, obviously losing Vision, and then Quicksilver and Age of Ultron. So I think if it's true that she did make a deal with Mephisto for making a reality, like a dream reality, like a fantasy reality, where everyone she knows and loves is with her, would make sense, and that's why they introduce Quicksilver. Also, I think he is actually is used as a distraction from Vision really getting to the bottom of what's happening in that scene, because obviously he interrupts that scene,
just throwing another curveball at him.
So yeah, that's kind of the idea. I could be wrong, but yeah.
Okay, well, yeah, it's also reinforced. Yeah, this is kind of taking a step back, but I just thought about it. She needed Vision's corpse to reanimate him, you know?
Right.
And she's still grieving over Pietro.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't have Pietro's corpse, so Mephisto or Agatha, whatever, or someone else is like, oh shoot, well, I need a Pietro. So they grab from another multiverse, throw him in.
Yeah. And this will obviously be explained how he got there, but
right.
For the time being, we just have to theorize, and I think that makes the most sense. I think he was just, and it is interesting, like why him out of like the probably millions of different multiverses, why that Quicksilver from that universe.
Mm-hmm.
It is interesting. I mean, it really makes sense, because that's really the only other live action Quicksilver we've gotten. So that's one point, but not the greatest point. So again, I'm not. I guess that's the best guess. If I think of anything, I'll say something. But I think that's the best idea.
Do you think that do you think he's there to sort of soothe Wanda's mind again, or to just kind of like appease to her reality, I guess?
Yeah.
Or like appease to her, I guess, as a person, and just like make sure that she doesn't start feeding into what Vision's saying, about how this is all wrong and how this, because I don't want to say he started to kind of convince her, but eventually, you know, Wanda at her core is a good person.
Mm-hmm.
She would understand that what's going on here isn't right.
Right.
But if she keeps getting everything that she wants, there's no reason for her to stop doing it. So
yeah,
maybe that's why he's being thrown in there.
Yeah, well, I think this could possibly be an answer too. A lot of times in sitcoms, that would go on for a while. They'd introduce a new character to the main cast. Pretty much because they kind of ran out of story material or they were bored. And I think this is kind of maybe Mephisto's saying like, okay, I'm bored, let's throw in a new character. Just started thinking, came up with that, but that could maybe be something. I had, that would make them.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
So finally, I ask you this: why did the creators do this? Like, what does this mean for the MCU going forward? What do you think that bringing X-Men's Quicksilver, a completely different universe character, into the MCU, what do you think that means moving forward into Phase 4 of the MCU?
It changes everything. That's for one thing. But, the multiverse was, even though it was fake, it was still teased to us in Far From Home. And now this is just a logical continuation, being like, oh no, the multiverse is fake because Mysterio was not from a different Earth. That was the whole thing that was being set up. So I guess I'll go off on this quick tangent. So I think why he used that story is because we know that WandaVision is before Far From Home, and it would make sense that people would be aware, or I guess not people would be like so much aware that there's a multiverse, but like whatever happens at the end,
it would confirm it to certain people,
right? It would, it would make sense.
Might look for the information.
Mm-hmm. It would make sense that Mysterio is from a different Earth because there are people that are coming in that are from a different Earth. I think that's somewhat of an answer. I kind of lost my train of thought, to be honest with you.
No, it's all right.
Yeah. What do you think about it?
Well, I think where you were probably going with it was that this is kind of the first stepping stone into the entire multiverse stuff that's going to be completely more explored in Spider-Man 3 and especially Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
Mm-hmm.
So this is kind of our first look into what the multiverse is and what it's going to mean for the entirety in the MCU. And then this is going to ease us into all the craziness with all the different Spider-Mans and all the rumors we're getting from all these different universe characters. And it really just opens it up for the MCU to keep being fresh, you know?
Oh, yeah, no, for sure. It's going to be
completely different take.
It's going to be great.
On this kind of stuff than they had with last MCU film. So I think it's about to get pretty dang crazy.
No, it's going to be great. I literally, so that's where I was going with that. So, there's so many rumors of, at least for Spider-Man 3, of how many characters from different films and I guess different universes are going to be in this. You know, we got Tobey's universe with Tobey himself, maybe Kirsten Dunst as MJ, and Alfred Molina as Doc Ock, and we just heard last week Willem Dafoe as Green Goblin, and then Andrew Garfield, and then Jamie Foxx. There was some rumors of Emma Stone, but that's still probably not as true as the other ones, or maybe we'll see. And that too, and also Doctor Strange. Yeah, there were some big rumors that, or not rumors, but theories slash rumors, that maybe Tom Cruise's Iron Man is gonna show up because he was supposed to play Iron Man originally, in place of Robert Downey Jr. So I think that's definitely gonna be explored. So the multiverse is just gonna explode, and I think this show is gonna be the catalyst for that.
It's real, man. The multiverse.
It is real, dude. It's exciting. It's very exciting. It's very exciting. Yep.
All right. Well, I think that's about a wrap.
Yeah.
So Fox's X-Men's Quicksilver in the MCU. What did you think? Did you love it? Did you hate it? And what did you think about what we had to say here today? Did we miss anything? Anything like that? Put it in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And as always, we'll see you in the next one. Thank you very much.
See ya.